Hey, how you guys doing? Robert Terrazas, founder and CEO of Empire Lending Group. So this week's discussion is going to be on mental toughness. I really felt that, with my background, I felt like I could really give you guys some insight on really what mental toughness is and how to build it. Before we get into it, though, I wanted to show you guys something. So this is where I take all my notes. Hopefully you guys can see kind of what's in here. So when it's more or less, it's called a Genius Mandela's, and what it is every book you read, every thing you learn from, say, a mentor or something like that, take your notes somewhere else, but then what you need to do then is condense the notes down to the most important things and then put them in your book. I changed mine. I made mine a little different. I wanted to make mine more like a story, or more or less so I could hand this book off to someone, and then they'd be able to understand. They could read it, and you could really read it from front to back, and you would have now some pretty good insight on some of my experiences as well as some of the books I've read and things like that. But really what you're supposed to do is condense pretty much a book or an idea or like a seminar or something like that into one page. Now you're supposed to really put pictures in it. Let's see if I can show you guys some here. So you're supposed to put pictures on here so you're able then to look at it, and the picture brings back memories of the points of the book. So like, as you guys can see with this one, hopefully you guys can see it there. So this is Simon Sinek, his book and his TEDx talk on Start With Why, which I'll go into that on another talk. But really, it's excellent. But really, if it gets down to it, as far as having a purpose behind what you do, and if you do, you'll end up being successful, and people will also be drawn to you. You'll have like-minded people working with you instead of people working for you just for money. But we can go into that another time. But the point is that you have diagrams and you write notes and things for it, so you're able then to go back and remember what you learned. So this is a good way to really remember everything that you've read. Really, what I use it for is because I mentor a lot of people. And there's a lot of lessons in here, and there's so many awesome things that that I've learned that I want to share with people. But I get excited when I speak to people, and people get excited, and sometimes we jump over points that were very important. So this is a good way to kind of go through and make sure you're not missing anything when you're teaching someone or you're trying to remember something. All right, so let's hop into it. So mental toughness. I want to read you guys a quote that I made. Actually, let me take that back. I tweaked a current quote, but I pretty much nearly rewrote the entire thing. But it's originally from Lance Armstrong. It's his quote about pain. So I give him the credit, but I kind of redid a little bit, and I redid it while I was going through the Q course through my Special Forces training. I thought it made a little more sense. So let me read it for you guys. Pain. It may last a minute, a day, or a year. But at some point, the pain will end, and something far greater will substitute. A strength and understanding of oneself and of life that is rarely discovered. And from that point on, pain can never have the same overwhelming grip upon your life. So what I'm saying is that, and really what Lance Armstrong was saying also, pain during the moment, I know it feels like it's never going to end. But at some point it does. It can last a minute, it can last an hour, it can last a day, it can last a year. We all have low points in our life, big events that someone passes away, or we lose a job, or in my training, things were just miserable because it's cold, being hungry, tired, all these things. But at some point, that pain ends. And you got to understand, when it ends and you make it through that duration of pain, now you come out on the other side stronger and better. Now you know how to tolerate pain. You understand, you really, at that point, you start learning that things do have an end and they start to get better. But you also realize how to function in what I call the realm of pain. The reason I call it the realm of pain is because when you are what we say sucking, which is just hating life, things are at their worst. All you're concentrating on, your sole focus is on the pain, how miserable you are, and you almost start feeling sorry for yourself, which is one of the biggest mistakes. You start feeling sorry for yourself. You're really trying to convince yourself to quit. But the longer you live in that realm of pain, the tougher you become. And I'll tell you why. Is because it's a battle the entire time. And the more battles you win, the stronger you become, the more mental toughness you gain. So, what I wrote is, and I wrote this actually a while ago when I was still in the training, is what I said is, I learned that to build mental toughness is a very simple formula. The longer you stay in the realm of pain, the more your tolerance for it grows, which really results in mental toughness. So it's about that tolerance for pain. Another word for that is endurance, the ability to endure. So, we have to learn. We have to learn to thrive in that realm of pain, because you got to understand, you welcome that because you're growing and you're getting better, instead of looking at it like, oh man, I got to do that again, or I got to go through that to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. But the point is that through those hardest times is when we're truly growing the most and learning the most. They're growing pains, if you will. But the more time you spend in there, you're becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's probably the most important thing. Is understand that you're getting something out of it, and trying to think so much in the moment about the pain. And that brings my next point. If you are in a point in your life where you're going through a certain event, it's so tough. What you need to do is actually try to step out of your body. Act as if you were someone else looking at you, suffering, going through this, whatever it is, and kind of laugh. And just smile and say, man, it could be so much worse, or I'm happy I'm not that guy, or whatever it is. For us, when I was in Special Forces, one of the biggest things was we would just look at each other, and it could be pouring down rain, 17 degrees, and we're having to do all these exercises, middle of the night, hungry and stuff. We look at each other and we just kind of smirk, and we'd start laughing, and we'd say, oh man, this sucks, and that would help us. We'd start laughing. We'd both start laughing, and for a split second, we were out of that realm of pain. And you keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And at some point, you start realizing that you just start laughing all the time, and you just start seeing things, you take them much lighter. Things are less serious after that point. And I realized that me and my friends, we were doing things that were very serious, but we took them, very lighthearted, seriously, but we took them, not too serious. We just wanted to still have fun and joke around. But things that most people, I think, would, probably be in tears or wouldn't be able to function. So really what it is, being in control of those emotions, control yourself and be able to step back and not really give in to what your body's telling you to do, because it's going to be telling you to quit. It's going to be telling you, hey, this hurts. This is pain. Stop. That's what pain's for. That's why our body feels pain. It's to let us know, hey, something's damaging us. You need to stop. But really, if you're not obviously hurting yourself, but you're training or something like that, you're just pushing yourself, but your body still considers that to be pain and is wanting you to stop, but you have to fight through it. So you have to be in control of your body and don't let your emotions or your body, your instincts control you. And that is a perfect segue. It goes into my my next point. So I'm a big free diver. I don't know if any of you guys know what free diving. I'm sure some of you guys do. But it's not the most popular sport yet in America. But what it is we dive to depths, 100, 200, 300, 400 feet. That's not there's talking world record holders there, but on a single breath of air. You're diving down with no with tanks of air or anything like that. You just hold your breath and dive down. And guys are holding their breath, minutes and minutes at a time. I can hold mine. My personal best is about 3:30, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, which to normal people is incredible. But it's funny because compared to real free divers and people doing it a long time, or world record holders, these guys are doing it 12 minutes and plus. If guys are doing other things, I think it's around 17 minutes, 18 minutes, something like that. The point is, actually learning to hold your breath can build mental toughness today. You don't have to go through all the training I went through. You don't have to put yourself in a bad position or anything like that. And I'll tell you what mental toughness is. It's being able to control your emotions and set aside the instincts that your body is going to react. You have to push those away and be able to use your thinking mind. So why I like free diving, not just that it's fun, but it helps build mental toughness, and here's why. So if any of you have tried to hold your breath before, you know at some point your body's screaming, breathe. It's saying, I need to breathe right now. Stop holding your breath, breathe. So what you need to do is fight that urge. And you got to understand, it's telling you to breathe, but really you're fine. You're not going to pass out at that moment. You have much longer than you think. For me right now, my body kicks in. It tells me to breathe around a minute, 20 minute, 30 seconds. That's when it tells me to start breathing, but I can push it off till about 3:30, and I just haven't been able to push myself past that yet. Mentally, that's all it is. It's mental. So your body's gonna say breathe, but you have to fight it. Push it off for 15 seconds. Okay. When that 15 seconds is done, say, okay, I'm gonna go just another 10 seconds. Do the 10 seconds. After that 10 seconds is done, say I'm gonna go another 5 seconds. If that 5 seconds is done, stop or keep going. The point is that you can push yourself much farther than you think, but you need to be able to use your thinking brain and control, which really is a primal instinct, is to breathe. We won't get into the science of it, but the fact is that your body's going to actually start convulsing. You need to control yourself and keep holding it and pushing it off. And the longer you can push it off, the more you're living in that realm of pain. And then you're able to build a tolerance. And you realize, oh, okay, my body starts reacting like this at minute 30, at 2 minutes, at 2:30, at 3 minutes. And you just know that those are the natural symptoms of your body, or your body's natural reactions. So now they're not so much of a shock to you, okay? So actually in here, I want to back this up with some science. So I did my research a little bit, and when I say my thinking brain or use our thinking brain, I'm talking about the left hemisphere of our brain. And what this is responsible for is our ability to, have deduction, logic. We're tapping into, let's see here, speech, all these things that you're able to think. There's a certain part of your brain. Now there's a certain part of your brain that we use when the fight or flight kicks in. And this is what's going to kick in when you are wanting to breathe. Your body's going to panic. You're going to have this incredible urge not just to breathe, but it's going to be this panic, this fear. And that's actually called your hypothalamus. Yeah, I'd say that's how you probably pronounce it. But it's a primal part of your brain. It's not your thinking brain. You're not using your deduction. You're not actually thinking. You're not using logic. You need to be able to shift that back over to that left hemisphere to start using logic in things that we do. And this is how you build mental toughness. So whether there's fear with a business deal, like you're scared something was going to happen, or something did happen negatively, or whatever it is, take a second, feel that emotion, but step back, knock it off, and start thinking with your logic, your logical side of your brain, your left hemisphere. Start deducting. Are things really as bad as you think they are? Could they be better? I'm sure they could. But really start thinking, okay, now how can I improve my current situation? Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and moping, and then feeling emotions like depression, anger, sadness. Start thinking, and then start thinking about your next step and your next move. But don't allow your natural instincts to rule you. Let your brain and your thinking brain, rule you, because that's truly you. That is what makes you exist. All right, so this is my definition for mental toughness, and that's what I want to leave you guys with. This is just my definition, but truly, this is what I feel it is. So what I believe mental toughness is, it's controlling one's emotions and primal instincts to be able to shift to the thinking brain and to be in total control. Because if you think about it, if you're outside in the freezing rain, let's say it's 20 degrees, and you're wanting to quit, mental toughness is really being able in your brain to shift out the emotions of sadness or anger, whatever that is. Stop thinking with your how cold you feel, but you start thinking, okay, what am I getting out of all this? Why am I doing it? So like for me, I know I'm comparing a lot to my training, but that's some of the most influential things in my life and excellent life lessons that I learned during that training. That's what I'm trying to share with you guys, is that you start thinking long term. That's what you need to start doing as you're standing there. Is this worth it? And you start thinking long term. Yeah, because I will gain this if I do it. I will earn this if I do it. If I just last another hour, it's gonna be done. I'll be warm again, or whatever. But if I would just last this hour, I will gain so much. I'll be one step closer to my goal, or I will have achieved my goal. Okay, so mental toughness is really, it's taking control back of your body, and don't let your emotions control you, and is thinking long term. All right, so I hope you guys got something out of the video. If you guys want something else, again, I say this every week, but just write us. Whenever you guys write us, I always love contacting you guys and giving you guys some advice. But if you guys want a video and you guys think it would help others, write us and I'll post it. I'd be happy to post it. So just review, the Genius Medullus, excellent idea. It was shared with me from one of my mentors, and I believe it could help a lot of other people. I have the people that I mentor make these also to teach the people that they're going to end up mentoring. It's an excellent way to go back and just kind of recap on some information and books that you've read and make sure you're not missing a lot of stuff. So that and mental toughness, okay? So, take control of your emotions and don't let them rule you. You rule you and use your thinking brain, all right? So, you guys have a good weekend, and I will talk to you guys later, all right?